Prepare to be immersed in an extraordinary celebration of Tobago's artistic prowess. As the Tobago Performing Arts Company, TPAC, unveils its eagerly anticipated flagship production for 2024, the Fource Arts Festival. This morning, joining us to tell us more about Fource and all of the goodies that are packed into this epic performance of sorts, we are joined by Mr. Jared Prima, the interim CEO of the Tobago Performing Arts Company. He's also the film director therein, and he is going to give us some insight this morning. So, Mr. Prima, welcome to the Now Morning Show once again.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
An absolute delight, because with such a spectacular title, if you will, it is a force to be reckoned with, and I wonder what goodies you have in store for us. So describe to me, first off, why the need to bring the TPAC into this, in this way, if you will. Describe to me a little bit as to what the Fource Festival is.
Sure. So TPAC, of course, with its mandate to support the development of arts and culture within the Tobago space, and of course to provide a platform for capacity building and development. The way that we thought that we could best make an impact, and that's why Fource, I think, is such an incredible title, is to create an arts festival. Because that's what Fource is. It's not really a production. It's an arts festival. It's a hub. It's a platform for the celebration of the arts. So we're talking about a one-day, fully packed festival with platforms, with panels, with performances, with screenings that make a space for music, for dance, drama, and the film.
Now, granted that we know TPAC is involved or creating that platform through many other initiatives, this one day to pack all of that action in, how do we decide on one singular day?
Well, I mean, you know how it is with finances. So we want to creep before we fly, because the next move for us is to fly. So the festival is actually designed to be a 4-day festival. Mm-hmm. Each department of the company, so that's what we're celebrating. So we have drama, dance, music, and film. Each department will actually get its own day as the festival grows. But we wanted to start a little bit smaller, make it a bit more intimate, give people a chance to really kind of get that nice festival buzz. Think about those international film festivals and arts festivals where you have your schedule, and at 10 a.m. you have a performance, and at 12 p.m. you have a panel with some creatives from the industry. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have people moving through the space, and also we have what we call the junction. So we're gonna invite all our vendors in. All the vendors of the arts could get to come into the space that's at the Shore Park complex. And they apply their trade, they network, they make new connections. So it's really a hub and a space for the development of the arts.
Gotcha. Now that junction, in terms of making that space for business to apply their trade, registration or bookings for those spots are closed, or can people still register?
Well, for now, because it's a one-day festival, and of course, because we're trying to contain the festival as much as we can, we are handpicking just for this year. We're handpicking the vendors so that we can really get a sense of the scope of what the industry can look like. So in a sense, we're also showing and telling. We're showing you this is the people who you may not think of, who are involved in costume, who are involved in set design, who are involved in filmmaking. And we're going to basically curate that space this year. But as the years go on, we're going to, of course, be bigger. We have more days. So we're going to have an open call for vendors to really kind of come, register, be part of our database so that international eyes can be on them.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of showing and telling, the 1980s Tobagonian soap opera Turn of the Tide is making an appearance of sorts in the Fource Festival, and I want to know how, because when I heard that was going to be featured, if you will, I was immediately hit with nostalgia, and I wondered how, again, we're packing this into the one day. So tell me a little bit more as to how we're getting to relive those glory days, if you will.
So that one is my baby. So Turn of the Tide, for me, it still represents Tobago's best offering or best contribution to what we call Caribbean cinema. Yeah. A lot of my teachers, my family members were part of the series. And I've always found myself going back to that as I search for what might be Tobago's cinematic voice. So we decided to take a stab at this. It's like, you know what, let's do a remake that pays tribute to this very, very iconic series. So this is just some footage here of us. We are actually in the middle of production this week. I'm super tired. I have an all-night shoot tonight.
Oof.
And we're really kind of diving into those the themes that I think still live on today. So themes like societal pressure, insecurity, how far one would go to achieve their goals. And we have moments for you to laugh, moments like yesterday on set where the whole crew, including myself, had to cry because the scenes were so moving.
Wow.
It's really an amazing experience so far. I cannot wait to show you all this remake.
Well, we can hardly wait as well. And I mean, when you get one remake, we wonder if we'll get others. So a little birdie told me bitter cassava might be in the mix as well.
Oh, that birdie talking plenty. Yes. So TPAC is really trying to, of course, throw back as we're in our third year of existence. We want to throw back to some of our more successful production. Of course, Bitter Cassava being one of our iconic theater production. We're going to give a little taste at Fource. So if you add Fource, you're going to see a pinch of Bitter Cassava as well.
Quite the force indeed, because that's a lot that is going to be jam-packed into June 1st, so that we are heading to the Shore Park complex for that one. But I think overall, while there is a lot to take away, what do you hope that patrons take away most from what will be an ongoing or annual festival soon enough?
That's a great question, and I will explain it by giving you a scenario that occurred last week. So one of our more popular music creators on the ground, he shot me a message and he said, okay, I'm seeing this thing about Fource and I wondered if there's a space for me here in this festival. And we have open conversation with him. But I'm saying this to say that is exactly what we want Fource to be. We want Fource to become a space where the artists, the creatives can feel safe to present their work. They have a platform where their work can reach the further shores. Because sometimes you need that boost. And I think that's what TPAC is here for. We're not just here to show you. We're here to support. We're here to help you build and grow. And Fource is us creating the avenue, the platform, the hub for the development and the growth, the exponential and the push, the forceful growth of the arts in Tobago.
Mr. Prima, we want to help with that force. We want to help that growth. So as an outsider looking in, how do we become a part of the Fource Festival? Where can we get tickets? Where can we connect? Is it available online? How do we connect?
All right, so I don't want to let go too much information just yet, but at the end of this week, if you stay tuned to our socials, we're going to give you information because it's a festival, and even though it's one day, it's a packed one day. So you'll have the opportunity to purchase a one-day pass. Even though it's a day, we call it a season. It's a season pass. And then, of course, you can also purchase tickets for the night event, which is a fusion. We call it syncopation. That's a mixed event with dance and music excellence from our dance and music departments. And you never know, you might hear about a little Fource after party. That might get in the mix too. Oh. All right, so stay tuned to our socials and you'll get all the information by the end of this week about ticket sales. Please don't miss this opportunity. Get inside the Fource.
Now, something as grand as this definitely is a collaboration between a number of entities and persons at the very least. So are there persons that you just want to acknowledge for making sure that the Fource Festival takes place on June 1st, perhaps?
Well, I always like to acknowledge the Tobago House of Assembly, the Chief Secretary and our Alliance Secretary as well, Secretary Tashia Boris, of course, the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine. They've always been very supportive of these creative efforts. So we have their support. Of course, I must shout out my sister companies under the division. So the Tobago Festivals Commission and, of course, the Tobago Beyond Brand, TTAL. They are definitely on board helping us in a very major way. And I must shout out the community, because when we went to Facebook, of course, I'm a little bit radical, so I didn't even go to my company socials. I went to my socials and I said, guys, we're doing turn of the tide. We need some old clothes, we need some items, we need some extras. I got calls just flooding in. Somebody called me with a pristine Datsun to be anything. We have clothes. Everybody wants to come on the beach for the open shoot this evening. I want to say thank you to the community. Thank you for helping us make the arts grow and feel like there's a space for us to really belong.
And we say thank you very much, Mr. Prima, for joining us this morning, for spearheading this initiative. And of course, wishing you the best of luck as, fun fact, that's a long weekend. That's a long weekend to be in Tobago and enjoy the goodness that you guys are bringing with the Fource Festival on June 1st. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Of course, and I know that everyone will be here for the long weekend. Take a little Fource while they're here, man.
Fingers crossed. He's setting the scene, you all, but we will be there. Thank you again, Mr. Prima, for joining us.